And we are live. Hey everyone, I'm Parker Pell, one of the co-founders of Scholars. Scholars, our entire goal is to help early career recruiting teams deliver personalized candidate experiences that drive retention. And is why, and one of the reasons why we've been so excited and fortunate to be able to do this special weekly LinkedIn Live series covering all things early career, candidate experience, and candidate engagement, answering questions and topics from you all, our peers in the university recruiting space. Once again, always check out our website. We've got some awesome templates and downloads onto there. We have a Slack group. If you want to join, let me know. And then obviously, if anyone that's watching this or watches this is interested in coming on this LinkedIn Live, ask me real-time questions. You're opinionated about something as a part of your early career candidate experience that you want to talk about and share with fellow early career recruiting leaders, please let me know. I'd love to have you on the show. And with that, let's dive into this week's topic, which is 5 things that an early career candidate does before they might turn over. Now, this show is really going to focus on new grad hires, people that have accepted an offer, they have just joined after graduation. Within those kind of first 2 years of their tenure at our company, what behaviors could we track, could we see in those first 2 years that lead us to believe that they might need a bit more attention, they might not be happy in their role, and might be preempted to ultimately turn over. Now, I know it's not a shock or a surprise, but I mean, 70% of early career new grad hires turn over in the first 2 years. That's a shocking number, and it's something that we are trying to bring to the light and help teams put processes in place from the very beginning of the first time that that candidate interacts or learns about your brand, to provide them with an experience that's tailored, personalized, and is going to ultimately help to drive that 70% number down at the end of the day. So I'm not going to say that these 5 behaviors are like end all be all signs, but what they are behaviors to look out for, things that we can track as a part of that new grad employee's first 2 years that can help give us some signs as to, is a candidate extremely happy, or is the candidate maybe not as happy, they might be leaning towards turning over at the end of the day. So watching out for these 5 behaviors. Obviously, the goal is reduce turnover, but also help your team act more efficiently, strategically plan for hiring more efficiently as well at the end of the day. So the first behavior I want to cover is less frequent manager meetings. So obviously our managers, and we've talked about the importance of incorporating managers into that new grad employee's experience from the very first time that they apply to their company. We want that manager relationship to be really strong. For this new grad employee, it's probably their first time that they have had a full-blown manager relationship where they are trying to communicate and present themselves in a way that is ultimately going to show the value that they're providing. I think that if we see or hear from our managers that there are less frequent manager meetings, the meetings aren't going as long, aren't as productive from a feedback standpoint, or productive from the sense of skill building, this can be a telltale sign that a candidate that is working for us might be so inclined to ultimately turn over. So less frequent manager meetings, less productive manager meetings is the first behavior I would say let's really look out for a sign that someone might be trending towards turning over. The second behavior that I want to cover is they might be showing less interest or curiosity in the impact of work that they're doing. Or is the candidate, is the employee doing the kind of bare minimum work? Are they having to be consistently reminded about deadlines that they're looking for? When you talk to companies, every company, it's pretty consistent across the board, is looking for a consistent learner, a curious individual, eager to learn kind of personality when they're evaluating a candidate for an opportunity. If we start to see that curiosity or willingness or eagerness to learn decline, that can be a telltale sign that they're either just not interested in the role that they're doing. Maybe you should be checking in with them, see if there are opportunities within other departments so they can internally move versus just leaving your company point blank. And also be able to monitor this by implementing a 3, 6, 9, 12-month feedback loop between the manager and the recruiting team themselves, so that we can start to understand, how is that curiosity progressing? Are we not providing the candidates with enough to be curious about? If so, that's easy to fix. Or is it more something on the candidate side that we need to address and bring up to them? So second behavior to look out for, I would say, is just like a decline in eagerness or curiosity to learn. The third behavior I want to cover is not opting into your mentorship program. So hopefully, and we've covered this, your company has a mentorship program that is accessible to all employees. Retention rates for mentees is around 72%. Where people who don't participate in a mentorship program, it can be around 49%, which is pretty crazy in my opinion. But if they're opting into a mentorship program, what it's showing us is that they want to learn about what career growth could look like at your company. If they're not opting into your mentorship program, why aren't they? What other things are they interested in that you could be doing to show them that there are a lot of things that they can take advantage of? There are all of these doors open for them to walk into as a new grad employee, which I think is super important as we think about this. If you have, at the end of the day, a way to kind of track and garner those mentor-mentee meetings, it can go a long way. And it's simple and it's effective to understanding, at the end of the day, here's the population of people who aren't in our mentorship program, and ask them because they're not in there, what are they interested in? What do they want to be a part of? I think that that's something that can be lost. So look out. If they don't opt in your mentorship program, that is a behavior I would say that should be keenly addressed. And at the end of the day, ask them why. Why not? The fourth behavior I want to talk about is not engaging with your company's social media presence and just kind of general employer brand. So a lot of employees, they will post jobs from their department that are open. They'll engage with people on LinkedIn. You know what I'm talking about. But if someone isn't engaging with that social media, they're not posting about open roles, they're not celebrating your company IPOing a massive quarter of sales revenue. In this day and age, for an early career individual, we know this, social media is their life. And so as we think about the transition from generation to generation, if their life is on social media, our company is ultimately a part of their life. So we should be looking out for that and seeing, are they kind of celebrating the company within their public profile? Because if they are, that is a great sign that they're loving their work. If they're not, is it because that we haven't provided them with enough resources? What can we do better first? And then if we have everything in place, is something okay? Does a check-in need to occur? The fifth and final behavior that I want to address is fewer surveys, events attended, celebrations within the company that completed. As a company, especially from like an employee experience standpoint, we were talking to someone with a company that we work with earlier. They send out surveys all the time just to get kind of general pulse check-ins and feedback, things that they could be doing better as a company for their employees. If a new grad employee isn't taking the time to fill out a short 2-question survey for you, their employer, that's a trend that we continue to see with our partners, that the fewer the responses that they're getting, the more likely someone is just generally disengaged. And again, I know this is a common theme, but I want to make sure that I address it. These are behaviors that might show if people are trending towards turning over, but doesn't mean we can't address it by asking that candidate what we could be doing better as a company. I want to make sure that I really hit home on kind of that mindset as it relates to all of this. And at the end of the day, think about what software you can use to track that employee engagement with those surveys that you're sending out after you host an event, after you have a community philanthropy day at a company where everyone gets to go and volunteer. Things of that nature, super easy. But again, the fewer feedback mechanisms completed, that's kind of the fifth and final kind of behavior that we've seen in early career candidates might show that they're about to turn over. So those are the 5 things that we've seen to date for new grad employees within those first 2 years, behaviors to look out for and behaviors to track from a data standpoint. Again, I always like to talk about our next upcoming event, April 20th at 12 p.m. Central. I'm super excited. We are going to be hosting a webinar panel discussion with 3 amazing early career recruiting leaders talking about the definition of early career candidate experience. I'm going to have Kimberly Taylor from iSIMS helping me moderate the conversation. And our panelists are going to be Paul Bauer from GoPuff, Elizabeth Diley from General Mills, and then Haley Knight recently joining Splunk. We're super excited. I will drop the registration link in the comments of this video. So please, please, please check it out. It's a free webinar. It's going to be a great conversation. They're always super valuable, and we're super pumped to have these panelists come and share their experience and their mindset behind that kind of definition of early career candidate experience. To close us out, I'm Parker Pell, one of the co-founders of Scholars. Once again, if you have questions about what we're talking about today, you want to chat about Scholars or just the industry, please DM me. I'm always open to having a conversation and seeing what I can learn, seeing what information I can provide from industry data that we're collecting with all of our partners. Check out our website for any sort of free templates as it relates to helping scale and mentally kind of strategize your early career candidate experience. And I will see everyone next Tuesday on our next LinkedIn Live series. Thanks, everyone.